What up, y'all? It's DJ Envy.
And I am Gia Casey.
And this is another edition of the KC Crew.
Welcome.
Yes, we are out in LA.
Yes.
For a host of things. We had, of course, the All-Star. All-Star game is this week. Also, the Global Spin Awards is this week in LA.
Yes.
And we were on The Real.
Yes.
And shout to the ladies for inviting us. We had so much fun on The Real.
It was a wonderful experience. The four women that host that show are so phenomenal, so beautiful, so warm and genuine. I had an incredible time.
Yes. I just love coming to LA. First, I'm going to come to LA a lot more. And the reason being is...
You are just going to come to LA a lot more?
Well, we are.
By yourself? You're just going to come to LA?
I'll bring you to. And the reason I'm saying that is, usually when we come to LA, we get a hotel and we stay in a hotel and it's cool. But we have family here that lives here that has us over all the time and their house is just amazing. I mean, they are very, I don't want to say spiritual. They are...
they're our family.
They are spiritual.
Yes.
But they are like aromatherapy gods, if that makes sense. Like,
you are really intrigued by Sasha's whole Zen lifestyle.
I love it. Shout out to Sasha and Rashid who invited us.
You guys are familiar about Rashid. I speak about him quite a bit. Right.
And their home is like... candles everywhere. So as soon as you walk into their home, it smells
eucalyptus.
Amazing. They have
she's very health conscious.
Humidifiers in every room.
Air purifiers. Don't get it twisted. They're air purifiers. She'd be very upset if she heard you call it a humidifier.
I don't know what it is, but it works. And oh my gosh,
you say that it's some of the best sleep that you've ever had.
I mean, they have all types of gadgets and gadgets, right? They have this one thing when you take a shower, you spray it up right before you get in the shower, and it releases this scent that opens up your nostrils. And when you take a shower, it's even more amazing.
She even has this body wash that makes my whole skin tingle.
Yeah, it's great. And what about the tissue? The tissue...
It's Kleenex, like Kleenex.
Kleenex tissue. Like, what's on this tissue?
Eucalyptic.
I don't know.
Is it Kleenex? Is it the brand Kleenex?
I don't
Where's
know.
The box? It's right there.
I don't know, but it could get you high. If you smell...
That's pretty incredible. I've never...
Right, I wonder
there
about
must be people out there that are like, man, that's old news, but it's new to us.
They really into this shit.
It's
and it
Kleenex
works.
in a box, and
oh my gosh.
Each one that you pull out has this very strong scent of eucalyptus, so that if you have congestion or anything, like as you're blowing your nose or whatever, you inhale, and it's as though it clarifies everything. It's very nice.
It's amazing. So,
but if it's out there, Sasha will find it.
Absolutely, and
she will find it.
They opened up their own studio, so they have their own full recording studio, and they have everything in there. So we're actually doing a podcast from their recording studio, which is amazing and it's dope. And they have,
so we're not on the bed today,
right? Yeah, not on the bed today. They have writers, producers, they have artists,
musicians.
They do musicians. They have stuff for podcasts. I'll give you more information if you're ever in LA and you need a studio. But I just want to say shout to them. And getting back to The Real, like, I had a great time at The Real. Now, when the Real reached out and invited us as guests, we said, of course, And one thing about Gia and I, which I'm going to say is dope, but I'm like talking about myself, is we don't care what you ask. Like, they was like, yeah, we want to go over the questions. And we were like, nah, ask us anything. Like, we are really an open book. There's no topic that we won't touch, that we won't talk about. We really don't care. And especially because I'm a on-air personality and I ask everybody everything, and Gia is an open book. Like, it was just a great time, and I had a great time on The Real. So shout to everybody that came in the audience, shout to everybody that supported on Twitter and Instagram, and we really, 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 really had a good time. Like, I had an amazing time there.
Did you have an amazing time?
I did have an amazing time. And you did your thing too. Like, this was this was the first time where you were interviewed on television.
On television, yes.
Yeah, they popped your cherry and you did your thing. You really, really rocked out. And I was really, really proud of you because I thought, you really don't know. I didn't know if you were going to get nervous. I didn't know if it was going to be a little odd for you. But nah, you held it down like a G.
I mean, when you think about it, there's really no reason to be nervous if you don't have an agenda.
Right.
Like, I don't have an agenda. You don't have an agenda.
Correct.
So anything that they ask, I figure is fair game.
Right.
And I'm going to answer honestly. So, for me, there were no nerves. There were no nerves. It was just a very nice opportunity.
And you looked amazing.
Oh, thank
beautiful.
you. You looked amazing.
I mean, you styled me, so I was happy. You made my life very easy. And also, I just want to tell you guys that April 15th, I promised you that we will be doing more live shows so we can, speak to you guys more, see you guys more. We're going to do another live show April 15th. All right. Now, the show at the Highline Ballroom sold out. It's this coming up Monday. And we're going to have a lot of fun doing that. But we also are going to do a show April 15th. So if you missed out on the February show because it sold out, get your tickets now for April 15th. And remember, all the VIP tickets, you get your seats, you get your tables, you guaranteed seats and table when you get the VIP experience. All right. So get your tickets now, April 15th. So we're announcing a new show, April 15th. Date night again. Come on out. We're going to have a good time. We're going to be talking. We're going to be shooting the shit. We're going to have a lot of fun. Like, I love the live events because I love talking to you.
Well, I'm glad to know that.
All right. But when people are around, it's even better, because I can talk to people and people
you get their energy.
Their energy.
You get
but
their energy.
Not only that, the different opinions. People might not give two fucks what I have to say and check me on it. And, or they might agree with what I have to say. So I love the energy of the people. I love talking to people. If I could do a live podcast every week, I would, even though that's a lot. But we're going to try it once every 2-3 months. So April 15th, just go to highlineballroom.com. Get your tickets. Well, I promise y'all we're going to do more live shows. I know a lot of you are pissed off that it sold out so fast and you couldn't get tickets. So April 15th, it's a Sunday. So come on out and hang with us April 15th.
You know what? Speaking of feedback, let's request a little bit of feedback because maybe our listeners might have some ideas that we haven't thought of. So for this live podcast, we were throwing around the idea of doing the game night that we had discussed in previous podcasts. But if we do it, we want it to be very effective and fun for everybody. So if it's 400 people in the building, assuming that it sells out, we want to figure out a way that everyone can participate and in a way that everyone will enjoy. So I want to make sure that, if we bring people up on stage, I want to know that the people watching those people on stage with us and, doing the games and everything will be entertained by watching other people participate. Because can you imagine having a game night where 400 people can participate?
True.
I don't know if that's feasible. So if you guys can come up with any ideas, there's a chance that we might turn that night into game night.
Correct. Maybe. Yeah.
If we can come up with something, if you guys can come up with something, let's kind of collaborate. We have a little bit of time. It's February. We're talking about April. So if we can make it, as you would say, amazing, then we will.
Okay. If not, we'll do a podcast. It's still going to be amazing, but we might be able to do a little bit of podcast and a little bit of game night, make it fun. We can do that. But April 15th is the next day. Get your
we'll
tickets.
Figure it out.
Get them ASAP because it will sell out fast. And I want everybody to join us. If you haven't, I know a lot of you missed out on this one. Get your tickets April 15th. It's a Sunday, so you ain't got to worry about the kids.
There you go.
Now, you know what I wanted to talk about? I wanted to start this podcast with.
What's that?
A lot of people have been asking advice on getting married and proposals. They wanted some ideas. Now, I remember when we were, I was thinking about, I wasn't saying I was thinking about, but I was trying to figure out how I was going to propose to you, right? And I wanted to make it memorable. I wanted to make it somehow where you would remember for the rest of your life, and that, every time you thought about a certain thing or we drove past a certain area, that it would just bring a feeling that you was like, I love him so much, And for y'all who don't know, do you remember how
Do I remember how you?
Do you remember?
Of course.
Well, tell the people how I proposed to you. I love hearing this. I love how you explain it.
Okay, well, I'll fast forward to the second half of the day.
Okay.
Because the first half of the day was beautiful. It was very nice what you planned. But when it got to crunch time, we were in New York City, and he took me on a horse and carriage ride.
In Central Park.
And it was one of those beautiful, it was white with the red velvet seats, etc. And I had never done it before, and you had never done it before. So I was just taking in the romantic experience.
Right.
And as we were going through the park, Rashawn asked the driver to stop. Would he be considered a driver? Is that the right word?
Yeah, he was driving us. I mean, Yes, driver.
I'm sure he has a special word, but for lack of
horse
knowledge
driver
of that word,
horse
I'm going to
driver.
call
I don't
him
know.
the driver.
Okay.
So Rashawn asked the driver to stop,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm like, "What are you doing?" And he kind of just like brushed me off. He gets off of the carriage and he goes near this tree. Once he goes behind the tree, he bends down. I can't really see what he was doing because this was, it was starting to get dark.
Right.
And he comes back up and I don't see what's in his hand. And he comes back onto the carriage and gets down, begins his proposal, and then opens up this box.
Mm-hmm.
And if you could imagine the teeniest of the tiniest diamonds,
Absolutely.
this was, it was like, I don't know, 1/100th of a carat.
Right. 0.05.
Yeah, it was the teeniest, tiniest rock.
Right.
And he has this look on his face. He looks so hopeful. And of course I said yes. And I don't think that you could sense any disappointment because I wasn't disappointed. I was just curious. It was odd, right? It looked like something that would be befitting of, I don't know, maybe a 12-year-old.
Right.
And then you continued to let me know that it was a joke. And then you went in your pocket and pulled out the real ring.
Correct.
And continued with your proposal. And obviously I accepted. What I liked about it was that you put so much thought, you planned,
Mm-hmm.
You had to have that driver waiting for us at a specific time.
Right.
And you had to obviously have got out there early to hide that ring in the box that you tricked me with. And just the thought that went into all of that and you wanting to trick me and everything, it made it sweet. And you were 22. No, you were 23. I was 22.
Uh-huh.
And it was, I don't know, I was touched by it. So now, and something, mission accomplished, because every time that we go to the city now and we pass Central Park, which is all the time, it always comes to mind.
Right.
That day we had tea at the plaza.
Mm-hmm.
That was one of the things that you did earlier in the day, and that was fantastic.
Try to make it memorable.
Mm-hmm.
But with everybody out there, if you're thinking about proposing, those are the things that you should think of. You should think of what really makes that person happy. If it's a walk in the park, if it's nature, if it's something that's going to be memorable, something that they talk about, whether it's, taking a trip. We were from Queens, so, we really at that time really didn't go to the city that much,
Right.
We weren't a city people, but the city, growing up in New York, when you go to Manhattan, it's always big. It's lights. It's amazing. It's electrifying. Mm-hmm. So that's why I wanted to do it.
It's an experience.
It's an experience.
When you go to the city.
When you're thinking about proposing, you should definitely think about something that's going to leave a mark and leave a stamp. So, for instance, if you live in Virginia Beach was that area when we were young. It was always nice and beautiful. Think of something that's always going to bring back that memory and that moment. Maybe going on vacation, maybe going to a spa, something that you can see and it's going to bring something that brings something out of you that you never forget. Like, where would you advise a man if somebody called you right now and said, I want to propose to my wife or propose to my girlfriend, where should I go?
Well, something that actually happened years ago. We have friends that were in love and the guy wanted to propose to his girlfriend.
Right.
And he called me and asked me, Gia, how do you think that I should propose? And I was always taken by the way that you've made me feel through this relationship. Mm-hmm. And it's going to sound redundant because I've said it so many times because it's the truth. I love the way that you make me feel. I love the thought that you put into everything. So when I was advising him, I led with that. And I said, something, if you put thought into it and if you plan it, and when everything comes to fruition for her, if she can imagine you going through all of these steps to make it special, that in and of itself will be beyond satisfactory to her. It will make her so happy.
Right.
And that will be the gem. Forget about, the rock. Like, that will be the gem. So I told him, I said, well, and he was thinking about, traveling somewhere. I said, what you should do is you should call her job and take a leave of absence for her. Take her vacation time. Tell them between such and such a date and such a date, she's going to be away. You should get a nice piece of luggage.
Okay.
And pack everything for her. If you're going to be gone for 5 days, pack 10 outfits.
Okay.
One for day, one for night. Go through her closet, know what size she wears. You're marrying her, so obviously you know her style.
Right.
Look at her favorite pairs of jeans. Look at her favorite tops. Look where she shops and just get 10 outfits.
Right.
You know, get 3 pairs of shoes, 10 outfits, because he wasn't planning to propose for about maybe another 8 months. You know, he was about to get the ring and everything. So he had time to do this. He had time to get his money together to make this all happen.
Right.
So I said, do all of that. Then go into her makeup drawer and look at all of the makeup that she wears. Get a little travel bag, throw it all in there. Make it so that she does not need a thing that you haven't already bought. Get a little steam iron. Do you know? Get a little flat iron or pack hers. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
I said, have that bag suited and booted. And when you go pick her up from work one day, or when she comes home from work, tell her that you're going out to dinner. Instead, drive straight to the airport. Or if it's in the morning, wake up, babe. You know, we have to go. I want to take you to breakfast. You know, do it hours in advance in case, you know, she stalls you or she's tired or you really have to, you know, put some elbow grease into getting her out of the house so that you make your flight on time. I said, but, you know, take her straight to the airport and then take her on that little vacation.
That's dope.
You know, and then when you get there, propose.
Right.
You know, and it doesn't have to be a whole vacation. It could be a day somewhere.
Right.
Or an overnight trip. You know, if you're up here, it could be the Poconos. It could be anywhere. It doesn't matter. It could, whatever. But the fact that you packed this overnight bag, so it can be one outfit. It could be makeup for one day. It can be one pair of shoes. You can pack things from her own closet and her own makeup drawer and, you know, her own toiletries. You don't have to go out and buy it. You can remix it to fit the way that you can make it happen.
Right.
You know, you can make it affordable to you. But the thought of it, I thought was, you know, was great. And he did it.
Yeah.
He did it. And she
that sounds amazing.
Was over the moon. For him, it was a 3-day trip. So, you know, it wasn't a 5-day trip, but it was incredible. I mean, she called me and she said, you know, he told me that you helped him with, like, I couldn't imagine a better proposal.
No, I mean, that sounded amazing. That was such a great idea. But you know what? We talk about proposals and all that. But I think, and we talked about it as part of the last episode too, I think a lot of men don't propose because they don't feel comfortable proposing.
What do you mean?
And when I say comfortable, it's like, for instance, I knew that when I proposed to you that there was a certain standard that I wanted.
What do you mean?
Like, I know with a lot of women, and maybe I'm wrong, that the size of their diamond means a lot to them. But diamonds are super duper expensive.
Clearly.
So, you know, the bigger the diamond, the more expensive they are. So
the bigger the diamond, most women, no, not most women. Some women might say the bigger the diamond, the more he loves you.
Right. So for a diamond, it's very expensive, you know? So even with me, like when I proposed to you, the first thing I thought about was I have to get her a rock that I feel is respectable, you know? Because it's a lot of pressure. And I know with a lot of guys, they want to buy their fiance a rock that they respect, that's big, that's a nice size and not a small rock. So for most men, you know, women say, well, I'm waiting for him to propose for me. And I'm thinking to myself, motherfucker, them rings are expensive. They are expensive. Like and everything, well, it's not the size, it's the thought. That's bullshit, because when that
really, you think so? I think that a lot of women are happy with whatever they get.
I think that's bullshit. I think
no,
women,
it's not.
No, hell
It depends, and that's why I just made that joke a little while ago. It depends on the female that you're dealing with.
Nah, because when a female goes to the hair salon or when they go to the nail salon or when they with their friends, they all have rocks on, and you want something comparable to your friends. If your friend has a size and your size,
if you're insecure, then you want a rock.
Well, I'm insecure, and I'm insecure, and I feel like my wife would look at me crazy if I was trying to propose to her and her rock was the size of, I don't know, of something very, very, very small.
No, if you really love the person that you're with, it's about his intention to marry you.
But why
it's not about the rock.
But this is what I don't understand, right? Why get a rock anyway? And the reason I say that, all right, you get a diamond, right? Mm-hmm. A diamond could cost anywhere from $5,000 to $50,000 for a diamond, right?
It can cost anywhere from $5,000 to $1 million.
Like, okay, exactly. Now
or more. But
now, if we are trying to start our future, right? Mm-hmm. We already in the hole, because if I buy a rock, right? Let's say the rock costs $10,000, right? Let's say $20,000. Let's say $10,000. Rock is $10,000. So now I'm back behind $10,000. Now I gotta marry your ass. So now we have to get a place to get married.
Now I got to marry you. Like that bothers me, how you just put that.
What? It's the truth.
Now I got to marry your ass?
Because it shouldn't be.
Well, if I'm marrying somebody with that mentality, then yeah, the friggin' size of the rock matters.
See, but it shouldn't
be. Yeah, because,
it shouldn't be about the
it's
rock.
It's about your situation. Like, if that's your mentality, then yeah, I have the right to be shallow.
But it shouldn't be about the rock. It should be about setting up for the future. When you get married, it's for the future. It shouldn't be, I got to buy a $10,000 rock, all right? Boom, debt negative $10,000.
I have to have a $50,000 wedding.
Now that's minus $50,000.
I got to buy a $10,000 dress.
See, now I'm in the hole. Then I gotta go on a honeymoon. Now
I'm going on a honeymoon.
Now I'm in the hole. All that for what? Because now you know what you're doing? You're making supposed to be a perfect day in a perfect situation stressful. Because now a motherfucker gotta pay for all that shit. And you know what? We still ain't got a place to live. Now we go through all that and we're going back to that apartment. You know why? Because what we should have did was we should have took that money, all that money on that rock, all that money on that wedding, all that money on that vacation, all that money on that damn dress, all the money on that tuxedos we gotta get. All the money on the flowers that you want on the tables, all the money on what's the things when people leave and they could take souvenirs. What's they called? Not souvenirs. What they call when you give them gift bags. You got to get all that money. You got to put to all that other shit, right? Mm-hmm. To people that you really don't give a fuck about. Really.
Well, you might not give a fuck about people, but
all right.
I think that our listeners probably give a bleep about their friends and family.
All right. All that money goes to them, and now you could have used that money and started had a foundation of a home where you have something together. Now not only do I have to, we have to pay for this wedding.
Yeah, because you were throwing around the
I mean we.
You didn't mean we. You meant I.
We. Now
people say what they mean.
Now, not only do I got to pay for all that wedding, or we got to pay for that wedding. Now, when we get back from that amazing honeymoon, we're back in an apartment and we're starting over because 9 times out of 10, we got to pay off all that stuff that we paid for.
Well, let me ask you a question.
Why does it even matter?
Are you representing yourself or are you representing a hypothetical person?
All of the above. All of the above.
So you genuinely feel this way?
Yeah.
So if that's the case, then why did you buy the ring that you bought? Why did we have the wedding that we had? Why did everything go down representing the exact opposite of how you seem to feel?
Because I know that's what you wanted. You see what I'm saying?
So if it were up to you, I would have like a teeny rock and we would have had no wedding? We would have went to the JOP?
No, I would have said let's.
Not that I'm saying that there's anything wrong with that. I'm just trying to figure out.
I would have said
where your mind is
I would have said let's get a crib first. Let's get
a crib before I have a rock.
Like what does a rock mean? What does a diamond mean? What does it represent? That means nothing.
It does mean something. It does represent something.
Nah, like
it does.
No, us having a home and having a place to live as an investment means more than a rock. Because I can always get you that rock.
We could always get a house.
Yeah, but I'm already stressed out because I'm already 50,000 in the hole because we didn't did the rock, the wedding, the honeymoon, and flowers.
And flowers.
You don't remember how much the flowers
and centerpieces and music and a band and
exactly
everything, invitations,
and that's stressful.
Limos.
So for most men, that's what they're thinking. They're like, "Damn, I ain't got it like that. I got to keep saving." Mm-hmm. And it might take me 3 years to save. And then the female's like, oh, I've been with you 2 years and you ain't talking about marriage. Motherfucker, I'm still saving.
Well, I think that
whoever came up with the diamond idea for a female to wear is a piece of shit, because it shouldn't be like that.
Rashawn, you're saying
what?
You're not representing your true feelings right now.
I am. I absolutely
because
am.
Every time,
and that's
now we've been married 16 years.
Correct.
Every time that we've upgraded my ring, it was your idea.
Right, because
it was a gift. It was something like it was always on you to up. I've never asked for an upgrade. I would have been happy with my first ring.
But that's the thing. I recommended it because
you didn't recommend it. Let's call it what it was.
What?
You bought it.
I bought it, right?
Without my knowledge.
Right, but I bought it. You know why?
Why?
Because I can afford it. Because I was at a point in our life where I had it. But when we first got married, we ain't have it. We ain't have it. Like now we have it. Back then, we ain't have it. You know what I mean? But we overextended.
I mean, we had it. Here's the thing. Now, because you have to specify what having it means. We had it, but what we chose to do with it, or what you chose to do with it, is what's up for question.
Right. I mean,
do you understand what I'm saying?
I got a couple of things at that time.
We didn't have it for both. We didn't have it to get a ring, to pay for the wedding, and to buy a house at the same time. But think about it. If you're judging from our situation, we had the wedding that we wanted. I had the ring that you wanted to buy for me.
Right.
And we bought a house in 10 months. So there are a lot of people that would look at it like, you know, you get the ring so that you can feel good about it if it's important for you and you're a female. You have the wedding so that you have your day. Like that is a very special day, and you're not shedding any light on that. You're not. Hold on.
It is.
You're not shedding any light on that. So you spend the money, yes, but you're surrounded by your friends, your family. You enjoy. You have memories. You have your photography. You have your videography, and you're creating a union under God. And
right.
For a lot of people, there's a lot to be said for that.
Right.
And that is worth its weight in gold.
I get
and
what you're saying.
then you can go back to your apartment, whether you're living together or whatever, you move in together or move into his apartment, or both of you move into her apartment, and then you can save for the home. Because if you look at it from this point of view, you can have it all. It's just a matter of time. You might just have to wait it out, as opposed to jumping the gun, skipping the ring, skipping the wedding, and getting a house. So now you have this house. You didn't have to wait the 10 months. You didn't have to wait the year. You didn't have to wait the 3 years, however long it would take you to be able to get a house. So now you have it, but now you have no memory. Now,
no, you could create your memory when you want to create it. Think about it like this.
No, stop that.
You buy a house.
Hold on. Then you go get married afterwards.
You have the wedding in your house, and now you save
now
mad
you want to
money.
have the. Okay, so most people's homes aren't equipped to host a wedding. Let's just be realistic. Whose house do you know, besides maybe 5 people that you may know, would be able to have a wedding in their home? That sounds ridiculous.
I mean, you don't have to have thousands or hundreds of people.
No, because Rashawn,
you have a couple
you're
people.
reducing this wedding.
I'm not
to
reducing
nothing.
the wedding. All I'm saying
you don't
is
want, and it's important.
A wedding
for a
don't
lot
have
of,
to be that important where you stress somebody else out, and a man has to think about that a lot. Like, it's not just, okay, this is what I'm gonna do. No, I would love to marry you right now, baby, but I can't afford it because I can't afford a ring. I can't afford a wedding. I can't afford a honeymoon. I can't afford flowers.
So let's go to the JOP.
Okay.
Let's sign this paper.
I love you. We married.
I'll wear my little white business suit.
That's cool.
And you wear your church suit.
That's cool.
We do that, and then we put this money together, buy a house,
and then we have a ceremony later.
What's
wrong with that?
I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. I think that it was a previous podcast that I might have said that can work, and that can work for some people. A woman can wear just a gold band to represent that she's taken, the same way that
absolutely
a man can. My point is that it's an individual decision.
Okay.
The decision has to suit both parties, and neither one can impose their wants on the other. At the very least, it would have to be a compromise if they don't agree 100% with the other. Do you see what I mean?
I see.
I believe in both. I think that it just has to make the two participants happy.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
So I believe in big weddings. I believe in modest weddings. I believe in justice of the peace weddings. You know, some girls could care less about the big dress and the band and the centerpieces. And they might be fine going right down to the city hall and knocking it all out in one day. And then celebrating later or not. You know, for some people, it might make sense. Like, why am I going to put all this money into one day for 6 hours?
Right.
And then poof, it's gone. And I have pictures, yes. But then there are women that those pictures are everything.
Correct.
Those memories are everything. So it really depends on what side of the fence you fall on. But whatever it is, it has to make you happy.
Absolutely.
And neither party should have to sacrifice, because that's something that if you don't do it the way that you want, and it can be the man, if he feels like he's forced to pay for a wedding that he really doesn't want, he may resent her for the quote unquote loss because he doesn't find any value in it, right? So he might resent her and hold her responsible for the loss. But if he forces her to get married at the justice of the peace, it's very likely that she'll resent him for robbing her of her memory and her day to feel special. A lot of women have imagined their wedding day since they were little girls.
I know, playing with the Barbie and Ken.
And we're kind of conditioned to feel that way and to want that. So you can't take that away from a woman if it's that important to her.
Okay. All right. Well, I just wanted to chop that up with you. Now, I want to ask you another question.
Okay.
How do you feel about going out with a friend?
I don't know what you mean.
All right, let's say
what does that mean?
You have a male friend.
Okay.
How do you feel that, all right, let's say, do you think women should go out with male friends, and do you think males should go out with female friends?
It depends on the nature of the relationship. It depends on how long these males and females have been friends, especially it especially matters if these two people of the opposite sex have been friends before their new mate or their new husband or wife came into the picture. You know, I have some friends from childhood that are males that, you know, you wouldn't have a problem.
Who?
Brent.
I might have a problem.
If I went to dinner with Brent?
Yes.
Or if I hung out with Brent?
Yes.
Why?
If it was just you and Brent?
Yeah.
Hell yeah, I'd have a problem. There is no situation out there that you and Brent would just be hanging out alone. Fuck no.
Okay, let me...
Fuck
Okay, hold on.
Hell no.
So I have another friend who's actually a sales associate that I deal with, who I adore. His name is Herb.
Okay.
And when I flew to Charlotte not too long ago to do some things, I met up with Herb. We went to lunch. We hung out. We talked. Everything. You had no problem.
Yeah, because Herb is our friend.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like, Herb is my friend and your friend.
So
like, if it's and you told me, and it's cool because he's my friend and your friend. But somebody that's just your friend, I don't know about that.
So,
matter of fact, I do know about that.
Well, personally, I wouldn't have a male friend that wasn't your friend as well.
I mean, like,
because we're married. Why would we have separate friends?
I mean, you just mentioned Brent, and Brent was your friend. He's not my friend, but he was your friend growing up. I don't, that's just your friend. But hell no.
But that's why I switched gears, because I don't hang out with Brent much. So I haven't really brought you into that friendship. But if it's a friend that I plan on spending time with and hanging out with and talking to on the phone, he would have to be your friend as well. I don't believe in married couples having separate friends. I'm not going to have my pocket friend.
As long as you know. But I'm
not going to have my pocket friend.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not going to say you're not allowed to, but you're not allowed to have a friend and y'all go out.
Well, let me ask you this. Let's say we had a friend who's a male, and let's say he was very attractive.
Mm-hmm.
Would that fudge your feeling a little bit?
No.
So you wouldn't have a problem if I went to dinner with him.
How attractive?
Hung out.
Like look like.
Let's say he's extremely attractive. Extremely attractive. Like on a scale from 1 to 10, he's a 9.
No, I wouldn't have a problem.
Why'd you say it depends on how attractive?
No, I'm just curious, but I wouldn't have a problem.
You're curious in this hypothetical?
Yes. I like to know all my possibilities.
Okay, so you wouldn't have a problem.
No.
That's not true.
I wouldn't have a problem.
That's not true.
It depends on.
That's not true.
It depends on how much of a friend it is. Like, I mean, if he's somebody that I know and he's attractive, I wouldn't care.
Well, how do you categorize the word no? You know, let's say we've hung out sometimes together, and you know we've been at mutual parties, and you know we've had parties, and we've invited him over to the house.
Why are y'all hanging out? Like that's the whole thing. Like, why are y'all hanging out?
For the sake of argument, let's just say we're two human beings,
okay.
and let's say we have something to talk about. Let's say we just like each other. We get each other's jokes.
No,
you know, let's just say we're friends.
No, you're not friends.
That's what friends do.
All right, then you don't have any friends. You're not friends. No, you're not going out with nobody. I don't care if he's ugly. I don't care if he's cute. I don't care if he's attractive.
So now it's just nobody.
I mean, unless
remember, this guy, my hypothetical good-looking guy, is your friend too. He's been to our house for parties.
You don't need to go out with him then.
Why?
Because you just don't need to.
You're not what? Why?
Why? Because
yes, why?
Because there's no reason why you should be going out with another man. No reason at all. You mentioned Herb. Herb is the homie. Herb is a sales associate.
You're contradicting yourself.
I fucks with Herb.
You're contradicting yourself.
Rashid, no problem. I fuck with Rashid. Everybody else, fuck no, hell, fucking no. You're not going
Rashawn, this is hypothetical.
I don't care. There's no hypothetical.
Why and I don't feelings right now?
I don't have to make sense. Like,
why are you squinting?
No, and for ladies out there,
and why you bobbing your head and squinting?
Like, no, you can't even ask me. No. You want to go out? Wait for me. We all go out. We all go out. Just like if I say, hey, I'm going out with so and so. For what? For why are you?
No, this is your hypothetical situation.
No, I'm just saying no. No, matter of fact, I don't want to do this stupid question. Who thought of that anyway?
That was you. You thought of that.
That
wasn't an email.
No, but let's get to an email. That was stupid. No, but you ain't going out with nobody. All right, let's go to email. Okay. What's up, my favorite couple? I hope this letter gets to you. I can really use your advice and assistance. I need your help so badly. My name is Eric. I've been with my lady, Jada, for 7 years. We have the best 5-year-old daughter, Madison Marie, that we both love very, very much. We both turned 30 years old this year and currently in a bad space in our relationship. As of recent, we both have been going through a very difficult times in our lives in every aspect. The last year has been the worst. At this time, she's even considering separating. I do admit that through these stressful times, I haven't been making the situation easier. I've been distant, not communicating, and even lashing out verbally, which she does not deserve. She has been in my corner throughout so much. As of now, we are taking time apart, but F that. I want my baby back. In retrospect, I've been self-reflecting and will do anything to get her back. I know there is still a chance because we love each other very much. I am working on getting my ish together. I will fight every day to keep my family together. When I think of my future, I don't think about anyone else in there but her. I can't live without her. I miss everything about her. I know this is a shot in the dark, however. I know you can help me with this situation because she really looks up to you, Gia. Please advise me on what to do. I've been sending her sweet text messages, love letters, flowers, etc. I have spoken to Envy at Nike. Oh, I guess he works at Nike. About when is the right time to propose. Wow, that's funny.
Do you remember that?
No.
Okay.
You guys even mentioned her on a podcast. Oh. Yes. Okay. You even
do you know?
Yeah.
Okay.
You even mentioned her on a podcast thanks to Erica from Wolford. That was the happiest I've seen Jada in a long time. Even though you said her wrong name. I probably said her name wrong again. We went to the live podcast last year and she loved it. Your story allows us to have a certain dialogue in our relationship that I believe has kept the fire burning for quite some time. Sorry for the lengthy letter. If there's any way you can help, please reach out. Thank you in advance. Okay. Let me start this?
Right. Yes, I want you to start, but let me just clarify a couple of things.
What?
So they're estranged right now.
Yes.
But they're estranged because of the way that he treated her during these trials and
he said they were
tribulations?
both going through some rough times, and then he treated her pretty wrong. He lashed out her verbally,
right,
and was being very distant, not communicating.
So now they're estranged, and he wants to know how to get her back.
Correct.
So he's been doing things. He's been sending love letters and sweet
flowers,
texts,
et cetera,
flowers, etc., and that hasn't worked.
Right.
Okay, go ahead.
All right. So first thing I want to tell everybody out there, right, and this is something that somebody told me. Never, ever, if you can avoid it, never separate, never leave the house. That's what somebody, a good man once told me.
Who told you that?
Rashid.
Oh.
He said never, he says never leave the house. You know, never leave your apartment, never leave the place where you're staying with your girl if you really want her back. He said, because once you leave, you kind of make it okay to not be in that house, and they can tell or they can see that they don't need you anymore.
You know, Rashawn is referring to our dark period.
Right.
And I couldn't get you to leave.
He told me don't leave. And you know what?
I couldn't get you to leave.
And I wasn't going to leave. And it worked because
I needed you to leave so bad, and you would not leave.
I did everything that I possibly do to stay. Like even if you want to separate, I would not separate. Now I would go to another room in the house. I would stay away from you, but my vibe, my energy was still in that home. You never leave the home, because once you leave, she realizes that, look, I don't really need him. Matter of fact,
a woman can get accustomed, or a man can get accustomed to you not being there.
Correct.
And it can become their new reality.
Exactly.
So then it's so much more difficult to get back in once you've left. But if you've never left at all. Yes, because I think especially women, because we're more resilient than men, I believe. But I think that we can train ourselves after a period of time to be okay.
Right.
I think that men seem to be so tough and whatnot, but I think that women in a lot of ways are a lot tougher.
Right.
I think that we bounce back quicker than men do.
Absolutely.
And and it doesn't seem obvious, but I think that we're a lot more resilient.
Yeah, but I would never leave first thing to do is get back in the house. Whatever you got to do to get back in that house, get back in that house. At least that way she sees you more. She might not like you, but at least she sees you more, and your energy is still there.
He said that they did live together.
Yeah, he said that they separated. They're estranged. I
don't know if they physically lived together.
Well, if you don't live in that house, or you moved out the house, get your ass back in that house. That's first and foremost. And second of all, I hope you have been apologizing and being honest. Most people be like, oh, I apologized once. No. Like, when you hurt somebody, this is another thing that I learned being in a relationship and fucking up so much. When you hurt somebody, you can't tell them when to forgive you, no matter what it's for. You can think it's so stupid. I stepped on her pinky toe and she's mad for a week. Well, her motherfucking toe might hurt for a week. I know it's a stupid example, but I'm being serious. You can't.
No, I'll rock with that example.
And that's for women and men. You can't tell somebody when to forgive you. Like, it might take a day, it might take 3 days, but you got to understand you hurt somebody and you don't know how bad that hurt was. So you just can't write it off. And men especially, we write off shit like, man, get over it. I said I'm sorry. That's not the answer all the time. All right? Maybe the first time.
No, it's not the answer any of the time. Man, I said I'm sorry. Get over it. How many times you want me to apologize? What do you want from me? Blood? Like, those answers?
I said that a couple of times.
You have.
But
you think I'm just pulling from my imagination?
But I had to learn my lesson. Like, I had to learn
I'm not just pulling from my imagination.
I had to learn that certain situations, and sometimes you can't tell somebody when to forgive you. So you have to allow. That's the first thing. You can't be ego driven. You gotta be humble. You go in there with your motherfucking
tail between your legs.
I was gonna say balls in your hands, but yeah, tails between your legs.
That'll work too.
What?
I said that'll work too.
But you got to come with your tails between your legs, and you got to be apologetic. You got to be sorry if you want that, and then talk to her why you've been distant. Talk to her why it's been a lack of communication. Talk to her why it's you had a problem or whatever it may be, and then you try to dig deep in, and it's not gonna be right away. You're not gonna say, okay, let's talk, and then you're gonna be like, oh, okay, because she's pissed off at you because of the months that you've probably been distant, and she's probably thinking that you wrote her off and you've probably been cheating. That's why you've been so damn distant. So you got to get her back to at least trust you a little, where you can have these conversations. And it's kind of like breaking a wall down. You got to take a brick at a time. Don't try to knock down the whole wall at one time, because you'll wind up having a heart attack. So just take a brick at a time, and that's what you got to do. That's what I think. That's what I would do in that situation.
So everybody knows that, I oftentimes say that I don't give advice. I just give my opinion.
Your opinion, right.
But there are times that I'll go out on a limb and give advice.
Okay.
My dose of advice for him is to understand that a woman, and this can be vice versa, but since it's his situation, I'll say a woman doesn't necessarily have to agree with you.
Right.
But if you can get a woman to understand why you've done the things that you've done, if you can get her to connect with that, then you may have a shot. Mm-hmm. I don't always have to agree with people. And when people wrong me, and I'm talking about outside this relationship.
Okay.
When people wrong me, I don't necessarily look at what they did and view it as a black and white situation and say, well, they were wrong, so they're out the door. The end result, their action isn't really what matters to me. What matters to me is their intention.
Okay.
Their intention is everything. Did you deliberately hurt me? Did you intentionally wrong me? Did you know that what you were doing was wrong and chose to do it anyway? Do you know better? And how I answer those questions determines if I decide to keep that person in my life.
Okay.
I always forgive because I relieve myself of that burden. I don't want those bricks of resentment, or I don't hate anybody, but I don't want that weight on my back. So I always forgive, but determining whether I want to keep somebody in my life in the same form that they were in prior, that's always kind of, that's a decision that you have to make.
Right.
So if you can get her to understand your motivation behind your wrong decisions. For instance, he said that they were in a lot of bad situations. Things were going wrong left and right. So
for both,
it could be, and I have no idea what those things are, but, for example, someone could have passed away. He could have lost his job, or he could have kept his job, but maybe things were going wrong financially. Someone else outside of the relationship could have hurt him.
Okay.
Then, she could have came in and told him that his feet look like little space shuttles.
She said that to me about my feet this weekend too, but go ahead.
You guys, if you tune in a lot, you know what I'm talking about. But she could have come in and said something that hurt his feelings and whatnot. And all of these things could have, mounted, and he could have snapped once, or he could have been in a bad way over a period of time.
Correct.
And that could have had him out of sorts. And he could have gotten to a point where he was talking to her rudely, where, he's making bad decisions and he's going, and he just doesn't care. Maybe he doesn't care about this. He doesn't care about that. And maybe he really never thought that his actions were ever going to amount to anything. Maybe he never thought that she was going to leave or kick him out, or if they weren't living together, just leave the relationship. Maybe, he needed that dose of reality to become grounded again.
That is true.
Do you know what I mean? If he
to realize what he's missing and realize how he's fucking up.
Right. If you can get her to sit across a couch from you, across a table from you, across a bed from you, and have a real heart to heart where you're in tune with your own feelings, where and you can identify why you did the things that you did, why you said the things that you said. And if you can get her in the same space as you and communicate those things from a very humble place and get her to understand, she may say, you know what, you are a piece of bleep, but I'm willing to forgive you because I understand. While I don't agree with what you did, I understand what you did and the things that were going wrong in your life that could have gotten you to that place. And I'll give you another shot. I'll give you another shot. Because at that point, if you're capable of making her feel that you're genuine, if she loved you, then she may feel something. She may feel compassion for you. And she may say, you know what? Let me let him back into my space and let me give him another shot. And then let's see how it goes. But if she does, you can't mess it up.
And I think that's great advice, because we get a lot of emails all the time about, and men fuck up all the time, I could tell.
So do women.
We hardly get women saying, hey, I fucked up and I want to get my man back. We rarely get that. Like, if we get maybe, let's say 100 emails a week, 50 of them or 60 of them is like, hey, I fucked up, how can I get my lady back?
Right.
Dudes fuck up all the time. So I think that's the best advice, to like exactly what you said. Communication.
But it has to be that heartfelt, heart-driven, heart-drenched conversation that you have to have. Like, you have to make her feel what you were feeling. You have to get her and take all responsibility. Yes, I was wrong. Yes, I know. Yes, I was tripping. Yes. But I realize that now, and I will never put you through that again.
Right.
Because you mean the world to me. Be honest. It took you being apart from me for me to realize how much I need you. Because even when he said it in his email, like, I felt that. He said, you know, I need her. I can't see my life without her. I don't picture the rest of my life without her in it. And all, you know, he put it 1,000 different ways. But yeah, all of that, like, you feel it. If he can make her feel that, I think he has a shot.
Okay. Well, we'll try that, and hopefully it'll work out well for you. And next time I'm in Nike, come up to me and let me know how it worked out.
There you go.
You know, one thing I would say about the people that, and I don't want to call them, I would say listeners, I would say our family members, because everybody who listens, I consider family member. I don't consider them fans. They're like our family, because they call one of your family members. They wanted to know. They said that they've been with their boyfriend for about 3 years and wanted to know some new sexual positions that you can help them out with.
Well, I've read that email.
You read that email?
Yeah,
I read that. I was like, that's kind of creepy. Like,
yes. It was a short email.
It was a short email. She wanted to know some sexual positions. I was like, I would even ask my friends that.
Well,
tell them the book.
You can take a journey with us, because we're about to take a little journey, actually. About a week and a half ago, and we didn't tell you guys about it yet because we haven't tried it yet, but about a week and a half ago, Rashawn came home with about 4 books on Tantra.
Right.
And we're about to get into it. We're about to explore and see what all the hype is with Tantra. He came home with 4 books on Tantra and 1 book on yoga.
Yeah, we're going to do yoga and then we're going to do Tantra.
So he's trying to get in touch with his inner self, his inner Zen. Maybe Sasha can give you some tips.
Yep.
Okay.
What's that dog? Backyard dog?
It's downward dog.
Oh, my bad. But yeah.
Not that I know anything about it, but I've heard the term.
I didn't take it yet, but I'm going to take it and I'm going to learn backward, whatever.
Downward.
The dog, and then we're going to do doggy style. We're going to have some fun with the yoga.
No, we're not going to. No, because I think Tantra, I didn't even crack any of those books open. Did you crack any of the books open?
Not yet.
Okay. I know that a lot of it has to do with connecting, and at least a portion of it, I believe, has to do with not touching each other, like stimulating each other through the connection or through the energy, through the vibe. Somehow, maybe it involves light touching. I'm not sure, but I'm going to look into those books and then we'll get back to you in about 2 weeks.
Okay. Now let me ask you a question. Just as a side note. It's not any. We got one more email. But how do you feel about having?
Hold on. You know what you're doing?
What?
You're creating a long podcast.
I know.
This isn't like you.
I know, but
I'm very proud of you.
You like that stuff. So that's what I'm doing it for you.
Good job.
How do you feel about having sex in somebody else's house?
So now you want Sasha and Rashid to listen to this episode and then be like, damn, they're having sex on our sheets?
I didn't even say. I didn't say.
What else? Like, clearly. That's what you're implying.
I'm just asking.
What, you want to go and have sex on Sasha and Rashid's
I'm just
sheets?
asking because, look, we've been here 3 days and we haven't had sex, right? Because I didn't want to ruin your hair for the reel. But now the reel's over. Right?
This is probably the longest that we've gone without having sex.
Right, because I didn't want to mess up
your hair. If you were
in
the same proximity as me.
I didn't want to mess up your hair because, you got your hair done right before we got here.
Well, here's the thing. I got my hair done in New York.
Right.
Well, New Jersey. And I got cornrows.
Right, so I let you live.
Yeah, because I don't have a hairdresser out here in LA. And that's really a big part of the reason why I had cornrows for the show, because I don't have a hairdresser out here. So I needed a hairstyle that I didn't have to be responsible for. I did my own makeup, but I'm not going to be sitting there with a curling iron and a flat iron. Like that I wasn't doing.
F all that.
So I had to keep it nice and fresh.
You ignore me.
What was your question?
Answer my question.
How was your question?
How do you feel about having sex in somebody else's house?
I think if you put a couple towels down, it's all right.
All right, cool. That's all I need to hear. Now here's the next question.
Like it won't get into the mattress.
All right. That's all I needed to know.
We just can't be all over the place. Like we just put a couple towels down, we be good.
But how are we gonna ask them for a towel? Like, hey, can I get an extra towel?
Well, listen, I'll be like, look, just use some extra bleach.
Let's go buy a towel. We can go to Walmart and buy it.
We're gonna buy our own towel, and then we're gonna pack a dirty towel in our luggage. No, we just throw it out.
Yeah, we'll work it out.
Okay.
This is the last email.
This is TMI.
I know. Hey guys, this is BI. My son, who is 18 years old, found himself with a baby on the way.
He just found himself that way.
And that's what he says.
Got it.
I don't know. The question is, was I wrong for asking him if he believes 100% that the kid is his? And said you should get a blood test so there is no worrying about if they ever become the parents that might question it down the line.
Mm-hmm.
My wife flipped out on me and said I was dead wrong. What do you think?
Well, I think that email is missing a lot of details.
That's all he said in that email, I swear.
Yeah, I can't. I can't truly answer that question.
I can answer that shit.
Because the girl could be a hoe. Let's just be real. I mean, the girl could be a hoe, in which case, it could have been a one-night stand.
I don't care.
It could have been, it could be a situation where he has no clue as to the character of this female.
But that's what
He's
I'm saying.
the father of an 18-year-old boy.
Yes,
You're still guiding and you're still molding, and you can't leave it up to your 18-year-old to make thorough decisions. If you see that they're not making a thorough decision, as the parent, it's your job to step in and raise all those questions that kid might not have raised himself.
Right, but that's the whole thing. I don't care about the girl. Like, I'm looking at it like this. We have a son, right? He gets, we think, or it's a possibility that he gets a girl pregnant. I'm going to say the same thing. I'm going to say, you're going to check.
Wait, hold on a minute. That's not necessarily true.
What?
Let's say, perfect example. Let's say it was us.
Okay.
We've been together since 15 and 16. Mm-hmm. If I'm 18 and I turn up pregnant, do you think that your father would have said, hey, you're going to need to get a DNA test because you don't know if that baby's yours?
No.
Exactly. Because
I'm not my father.
Your father's worse than you.
I know.
Well, see, then I would be the same woman. I'd be the woman in the situation where this guy is writing an email, and I'd be the pissed off wife. Like, how could you have said that to our son? If two young people, and I'm not saying that, things can't happen, but if there's two young people and they're in love, and to both of their knowledge, each is being monogamous, and she winds up pregnant, you would assume that it's that boy's child or that young man's child.
B.
Yes, you would assume,
my son
unless he had a reason to believe that she was stepping out on him or not being faithful. If he felt that girl wasn't being faithful, then yeah, you have every right to ask for a test. But just know that might be the end of your relationship. And if it's not the end, you have cast a very, very, very dark cloud, a rainy one with little lightning bolts over your relationship, for which you will pay for a very long time. Because when the DNA test comes back and it is your child, she's going to be sitting there with her lips pursed and her arms crossed looking at you, and she's going to make you feel that way over and over and over again. So you must know what you are getting into.
Yeah.
And
I didn't think about
now this is deceptive. This is deceptive. I don't even want to say this.
What?
Because I'm not a deceptive person.
Say it.
But if you don't want to hurt anybody's feelings,
just take a piece of that
and
baby
you
head.
need to know.
That's what I was gonna say.
Swab that cotton.
Don't say nothing.
Pluck a hair or two.
That's what I'm talking about.
Send it where it needs to go,
there
and find out so you can have your own peace of mind.
There you go. That's what I'm talking about.
But you don't insult that girl by asking or questioning if she seems to be a good girl.
Okay.
Or a good woman if, older people are relating. Do you know what I mean?
Don't have me.
You don't do that because you're setting yourself up for moments of misery in that relationship.
Don't have me babysit, because if I'm babysitting, I'm taking a couple of pieces of hair and we're going to check. We're going to find out. Absolutely. And then we'll see from there.
But a detail that I'm missing, like I'm wondering if the son was upset when the father suggested that. Do you know what I mean?
I mean, I'm sure it was, because if that's his girl, he said probably thinks that's his girl and nobody else's girl.
No, I don't know if it's his girl. He wound up, I think he said he found himself with a baby on the way. I don't know what the nature of that relationship was.
Right.
But judging from the mother's reaction, they were probably in a relationship.
Maybe. Yeah, that's what it sounds like from the mother's reaction. Mm-hmm. But I'm with you. We gonna get that baby. We're going to get a little swab. And we're going to send that in, and then we're going to see exactly what's going on, because at the end of the day, I just want to make sure. Because I might do that now.
Really? Who are you going to do it for? Which one of the kids that don't look just like you?
All right, you tell me which one of the kids that don't look like me.
Okay, I know which kid.
Which one? Which kid? Which kid?
But people, listen, when we post pictures of Jackson, hashtag twin, all the comments are hashtag Envy's twin.
Let me ask you a question.
Rashawn's twin.
Let me ask you a question.
What?
What color is Jackson's hair?
Jackson's hair is blonde.
Okay.
Like a dirty blonde.
Like, what color is my hair?
My grandfather is Scottish.
Yeah, all right.
My grandfather is Scottish.
All right. And the mailman is his dirty blonde too. My goodness.
I'm going to play this podcast with Jackson when he gets older.
That's my boy.
Like, you better not do anything to hurt my feelings.
That's my boy. All right. Well, it's time to get up out of here. All right. I want to say, don't forget, April 15th, all right, we're doing another live show. The February 19th show sold out. So April 15th, you have a chance. You can get your VIP tickets. Get your tickets. This one's going to sell out as well. You know, I told you guys, I want to do more live shows because I want to touch you guys more. I have so much fun.
You want to touch them more?
You know what I mean.
No, I don't know what you mean.
I want to speak to them and see people more, okay?
You confuse that with touching people?
You know what I mean.
Just saying.
But I want to see you guys more. So I would love to do more live podcasts. I enjoy doing them with you guys. And this is always, it's something fun to do. So, you know, I try to do these things and we try to do these things. So it's not just, well, what are we going to do this weekend? We're going to go to movies. Well, what are we going to do this weekend? We're going to go to the club. Well, what are we going to do this weekend? We're going to go to a comedy show. Well, this way you get to experience a little bit of everything. You have dinner. You have a little bit of comedy, and then you have the podcast where we talk relationships. And then on the way home, y'all can have a great conversation on the way home.
Yeah.
All right.
Or you might have game night. It all depends on how this whole thing busts down.
Absolutely. So
right.
Hit up the highlineballroom.com right now. Get your tickets. You know it's going to move fast. So get it right now if you can. And we're about to go to Walmart. Get some towels.
Man, listen.
All right. Well, we appreciate you guys. And if you're out in the LA area, hit us up because we're going to be looking for places to eat. You know, Gia's a foodie. So we're going to be looking for places to eat, places to hang, and places to go out. So hopefully we get to see you guys. All right.
And tomorrow's today.
Well, we don't know.
Technically, tomorrow for us, tomorrow's Valentine's Day.
We don't know when people are going to be listening. They could be listening 2 days after Valentine.
Right. So right now for us, it's Tuesday night.
Right.
You guys are going to get this early Wednesday morning.
Correct.
So that'll be Valentine's Day. So happy Valentine's Day, beautiful people.
Happy Valentine's Day to you and yours. And I got something for you. I'm going to just tie a bow on it and you can have it.
I didn't need that image in my mind. And neither did they.
All right. Well, you guys have a great one. I'm DJ Envy.
And I am Gia Casey.
And that was another edition of the KC Crew.
What?
You was about to say welcome. Say come over.
Was.
Say come over, damn it.
Thanks for coming over. Toodles.